My next object is also a toy that's not made anymore. In fact, I've never held one. I've only read about it in this fascinating book titled Jackie Ormes, the first African-American woman cartoonist by Nancy Goldstein. The object is a doll, a Patty Jo doll. With hand-painted faces, these dolls are prized by collectors. They were made in the late 1940s when the Pittsburgh Courier newspaper was running a single-panel cartoon titled Patty Jo and Ginger, drawn by Pittsburgh-born Jackie Ormes. These old comics are well known by Joe Wose, executive director of Pittsburgh's cartoon museum called the Toonseum.
Patty Jo was that innocent voice that got away with it all. She is the classic tradition of great comic strip children characters, whether it's Little Lulu or Dennis the Menace. She is in that tradition. And the fact that this is an African-American character makes it all the more interesting.
And her creator, Jackie Ormes, helped Patty Jo become this distinctive African-American doll. In February of 2014, at the City-County building downtown, there was a special exhibit in the lobby put together by the Toonseum and City Parks, where Che Tyler is special events coordinator.
The name of the exhibit is actually called Beyond the Funny Pages. When I came up with this idea, my aspiration was just to highlight African Americans inside of the actual comics, and to find out there was African American illustrators who actually produced these comics was a welcome surprise. So I actually changed what I actually wanted to do.
This is a celebration of Pittsburgh's African American cartoonist.
And one of the featured artists was Jackie Ormes.
I had heard of her actually through research for the Toonseum. I was trying to compile a list of every important cartoonist who had come from Pittsburgh or Western PA. And I came across her name. And I paused for a minute because it was the only female in this entire group of cartoonists.
She actually was born in Pittsburgh. She moved later into Monongahela with her mother, who had married again after her dad had passed away in a car accident. She became an artist at her local high school. She submitted some information out to Robert Vann, who was the actual editor of the Pittsburgh Courier, and he hired her after her persistence to become a news reporter. And she soon wanted to become a cartoonist.
From the late 1930s till the mid-1950s, Jackie Ormes wrote and drew comics and comic strips for the Pittsburgh Courier.
Her comics kind of were like a snapshot or a panel of some of the things that she saw that were injustices in the United States, and she wanted to publicize it and put a little twist on it, made it humorous.
The Courier actually had a huge impact on cartoonists in Pittsburgh, because at one time they were the largest syndicate in the world of African-American cartoonists.
Our interest in Jackie Ormes got us to the offices of the new Pittsburgh Courier that have been on East Carson Street on the South Side since the mid-1960s. The paper is published weekly, and a digital daily is also available online. Rod Doss, editor and publisher of the paper, agreed to show us some of the archives.
Well, here I found these great pieces of art. You wanted to know about Jackie Ormes? Here's her cartoon here. Torchy Heartbeats, Jackie Ormes' famous cartoon. And you can see the cutouts that she had. This was all part of her original concept. Great artwork, as you can well see.
One of her biggest staples was the fashion that she actually put into those comics. She wanted to make sure that African American, especially women, were perceived in a correct manner.
She was working at the right place. The Pittsburgh Courier was a respected newspaper read all over the country.
The Courier at one time supposedly had the largest African-American newspaper circulation in the country. I've heard figures of up to 450,000 nationwide. Of course, the Courier had 21 separate editions and regional editions throughout the country.